Hello all, and welcome to today's beer review, which I am dubbing the Kare Kare beer review because I just ate a bowl of Kare Kare, and some of it is still caught in my throat. Why is it caught in my throat? Well, because it's a Filipino stew that's made with what is essentially nowadays. They used to just like hand grind peanuts, but now they just use peanut butter. And the way my auntie, well, auntie is sort of second cousin auntie, auntie once removed, made it. She used a lot of oxtail, stew meat, and tripe. And I went to a restaurant and I bought it, and it seems like they primarily used fatback. So if you can already imagine, you know, a stew which base is peanut butter, with fatback being the main meat, it was insanely rich. So I'm a little bit ugly right now. And I can't wait for some alcohol to kind of cut the glurge a little bit. So, what are we reviewing today? And we have so many reviews to do now. Just because, well, I don't know. It just seems like I have a backlog from, you know, there's a lot of cans out there to review that I haven't yet reviewed. Go figure. So this is Maui Brewing. This is Star Maps Kolsch. This is their limited edition Kolsch style ale brewed with local star fruit from Ono Farms. Let's see here. Who is this collaborated with? Smog City Brewing Company. I'm not sure where that is. If you know where that is, please leave something in the comments. I was wanting to go and act like I'm a real YouTuber here, and so somebody who makes videos and just sits on them for almost a year now, never uploads them because my connection's so crap. But if you know where Smog City is, please leave a comment below and whatnot. Interact with this channel, raise my metrics. I don't give a shit. I really just don't give a shit. Anyways, so Kolsch style. Star Maps kind of pays homage to the voyaging canoes of the Polynesians and the way they used to navigate, which is, of course, the star maps, hence the name of the voyaging canoe, Hokulea, being the North Star. So, this is 6.1 ABV. In regards to the adjunct added, starfruit, I can't really tell you all that much. I know what starfruit is. It grows quite abundantly on the windward side of the island where I live, like literally wild. And I've never been too much of a fan of it because it's a very rindy, pithy, kind of dry fruit. You don't just go and bite into a starfruit. You kind of chop it up and add it to fruit salad for like a texture kind of thing and a flavor kind of thing. And the flavor is really hard for me to put my finger on. It's a tropical fruit flavor, but it's not really one that I can go and, you know, describe by analogy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know what's kind of close to it. Maybe kind of papaya-ish, maybe, but nothing like the texture of papaya. Just flavors kind of a little bit reminiscent of a less sweet papaya. It's tropical fruit flavored, really. If you've had it before, you'll kind of recognize some hints of it in this. It's not a very strong thing. But without further ado, let's get to it. We're having this in my broken Pilsner glass since I don't have a long stem glass. You open it and definitely smell that sort of fruity Kolschness. Fruity Kolschness. Me no adjective good right now. So, nice golden, let's say yellow to golden color. Slight hints of orange. Very nicely carbonated with a thick to fizzy white head. Fizzy white head. See? Very much that sort of Kolsch fruitiness pervades there. Sort of crackery to bready malts underneath. Slight hints of wet stone, but basically fruitiness. It's kind of tough to discern the starfruit from this, but in general, starfruit is not a flavor that really pops out. It kind of sort of blends in with other fruit flavors, really. Perhaps it's there, just kind of there adding to it, but not really calling attention to itself. You know what I mean? Malts up front, and sort of fruitiness in the mids. Not as much of a carbonation bite as you'd expect from something this visibly carbonated. And a fairly dry, clean finish. Just a hint of old world style hop bitterness on the palate. Just a hint. Finish is mostly clean. So Kolsch, as you know, is an ale style yeast that's sort of treated as a lager and has a kind of a lager finish, but being an ale has more fruity notes that develop in the mids. So it's sort of a transitional style, and it's a style that I really like. Because I like those transitional styles, Kolsch's, alt beers, steam beers, California Commons. Very refreshing. It definitely doesn't drink like a 6.1. It feels like it could be a full percentage point less in alcohol content. Again, the starfruit sort of melts into the rest of the ale fruitiness, the Kolsch style fruitiness. And let me say, when I say Kolsch style fruitiness, I don't mean like fruit bombness. I mean where sort of graininess and stoniness and wet stone-like taste are part of like Pilsner. Kolsch has sort of like a fruitiness instead. So it's a subdued fruitiness. It's not like big ale fruitiness, or fruit beer fruitiness for that matter. I would guess that the starfruit just adds like a more subtle twang to the fruitiness. It takes it in a it skews it in a slightly different direction than your usual Kolsch style fruitiness, which was one of those flavor profiles that I find are fairly narrowly defined. I find to be fairly narrowly defined. Now, if you just served this to me and you didn't tell me that there was a fruit adjunct to it, I probably would not have been, a starfruit adjunct added to it. I probably not would have been able to discern that at all. In fact, I wouldn't say it skews off that much, that much more from the usual taste profile of the Kolsch. In my opinion, that's kind of a good thing. And so the starfruit's giving it a different dimension that you kind of know about, and that's what's taking it there. But it's not really going outside of these style guidelines for it. And it's refreshing, which is what you're looking for in this particular style. And it's really crushable, and I'm enjoying it. And this one seems to have gone pretty fast. I'm not seeing it on the shelves anymore. It seemed to have been on the shelves for only like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before it disappeared. I don't know if they're going to be canning anymore. But if you do find it, it's a fairly good Kolsch. Kolsch is one of those styles I think, one of those hallmark styles that I think that is really hard to nail, because you don't really see all that many craft breweries doing Kolsches. And I really am starting to think that clean a clean finish, a good clean finish like this one has, is really something that's difficult for a lot of brewers to go and nail nowadays. While still having that flavor burst in the mids. And, so definitely go and give this a shot. It's a great example of the style, and it's got its own little special take on it from the adjunct. And I guess that's all I got to go ahead and say for this. Star Maps Kolsch from Maui Brewing. Next up, going to be reviewing something else from Maui Brewing, and maybe some other local beers too. Maybe a Scotch. Who knows? The world's my oyster. I need like a nice sign off, but I don't have one, so c'est la vie. Cheers.